Okay, optimization is about ongoing improvements. It's not a one-time thing. It's actually a job that's sort of never finished. It's evolution, not revolution. Website relaunches are a revolution. You change a whole bunch of stuff all at once. That's what we do here every day, and it's a major event. It's like a big thing. Like you can see it and feel it. It's noticeably different. Optimization, on the other hand, and our topic for today is really about ongoing small improvements, ever better results. Not that 10x change, but that 10% change, that consistent 10% change that can give you great results over time. So our hope is that you guys walk away today with actionable things, practical things you can go do right away, like a little to-do list almost, that you can do it without spending money, without big expenses, without a giant invoice, without 65 meetings and help from a bunch of technical people. Okay, now I did this before at the B2B forum last year. I'm going to make the case again here just briefly that we should always start optimization from the bottom of the funnel, because there's a problem at the end of the experience. Nothing else we do matters. It's really helpful to make sure that the bottom of the funnel is working. That makes everything earlier in that chain more effective, right? If you can improve the click-through rate or conversion rate from a later stage in the chain, then everything else that you do is sort of more effective, because all the visitors who make it to that step are more likely to proceed to the next step. So I'm going to do first website improvements, then content marketing improvements, because we should always begin from the bottom up when we're doing optimization. That's my perspective. You could probably find a recording of my presentation at the B2B forum from 2021. Hopefully you're all going to be there for with me and everyone else, the whole community at the B2B forum 2022 here. Very excited. Search should always begin with this conversation, because every keyword is in fact intent. Google isn't really matching words and phrases as much as trying to understand what the intent is of the visitor. And at the highest level, the biggest picture, there's three types of intent that sort of align nicely with the three stages in the funnel. Information intent is someone just looking for an answer. Maybe they want to do it themselves. They want like a tip or advice. They're problem aware, but not yet solution aware. Commercial intent or transaction intent, those people are actually solution aware. They're looking for help. They know they need a supplier, a vendor, a partner, a service provider, a product, right? Information intent. Why does my sink smell weird? Commercial intent, Chicago plumber, right? You get the idea. Navigation intent is also worth mentioning here. It's the third type of intent. They sort of go no, do, go. Navigation intent is go. Only 10% of searches are navigation intent. That person, we don't really need to optimize for that. That person is just trying to get to a website. So with that in mind, I want to just show you a sketch, like a mocked up version of a sitemap, and point out that different pages target different phrases. This is key to SEO. Google does not rank websites. Google only ranks web pages, and every page has the chance to catch traffic, sort of like a sail can catch wind. And there's no limit to the number of sails we can put on this boat. The homepage is always going to sort of automatically, in most cases, rank for the navigation intent query. They're trying to find the brand. They search for the brand. You search for marketing props, you're trying to get to the marketing props website. But that's also the page that can frequently has the easiest time ranking for the most competitive commercial intent key phrases. That's usually the page that you optimize for the category, the business category, or the main service, the name of the main service. Homepages have the strongest ranking potential because they inevitably have the most links to them. But those interior pages, right? Every one of those interior pages can be optimized for a different phrase. I'm focused on these first because these are the phrases for which the visitor needs something. They know they need something. They want your help. They're ready to take action, right? Information intent queries, the blog targets all of these, right? 80%, that pie chart showed. 80% of all queries are in fact informational queries. Those visitors have lower intent. They might subscribe, follow, link, share, comment, good things, but not major drivers of business impact. So looking at a sitemap, we should be planning ahead and thinking, okay, we need to have a page per phrase. We should not make general pages, like a page for general, like for all the services, and expect that page to rank. It's not going to. You need to make a page for each specific service. Google doesn't rank websites. It only ranks web pages. It's never ranked a website. Websites have never ranked. There's no such thing as a ranking website, only a URL. By the way, you can add lots of pages to your site without crowding out your navigation. You can make off nav pages and target different phrases. I'll give you a good example of one of those. Okay, so that was the big high level. Now let's jump in for this sort of website audit here. I'm going to first start with, before I go deep into search, and I promise I'm going to show you my most reliable wins for driving the most valuable traffic through search. I've done SEO for 20 years. I want to start with I'm going to warm up a little bit with some more fundamental ways to use analytics to kind of optimize a website. These will make every visit, as I said, let's make every visit more valuable and make life easier for every visitor forever after. I'm going to do a bit of analysis on the performance of our navigation. 100% of us have website menus. Probably a tiny percentage of us, though, actually know the click-through rate from every item in your menus. Let's take a look. So first, I'm going to do all this in Universal Analytics. I could do the same things in GA4. GA4 is coming. It's about a year away. I find that it's a little early to teach that, honestly. I could do it that way. I'm not seeing tons of demand yet for everything to be in GA4. I'm going to show you this. It's the tool you're probably more familiar with. Behavior, site content, all pages. All pages. Great. So now let's look at, so this is going to give you a list of every one of your pages. I'm going to click to drill down to a page. And now I'm looking at a same report, but with just one row. Not very useful until you click the navigation summary. It's like hiding in plain sight. It's a tab at the top of the page. When you click on that, it's going to show you how people flowed through this page, where they came from to get to this page, what percentage entered here, and where they went to after this page, what percentage exited, and what percentage went to a subsequent page. This is a magical report that is frequently missed that anyone can use right away. It's going to show you some very valuable things and probably some unexpected things. I've been part of the planning process for like 1,000 websites, and I'm never surprised to see that things that are big get missed, tiny things get clicked a lot. We all make our plans, right? It's like, kids are going to love these slides. No, they don't. People use it the way they want to use it. It's on their terms, right? It's all for them. So let's ask ourselves first, are there little things getting clicked a lot? Are there big things that get missed? Are your calls to action effective? Again, we should be doing this prior to everything else, right? Because if you can improve the click-through rate on a call to action, every visitor you have forever after is more valuable. Do you know off the top of your head the click-through rates for your main primary CTAs? If not, look it up. What was that, 3 clicks? Take a look, and then you might get ideas. Again, if you can move that click-through rate up, everything you do forever after is going to be more effective. Let's fix the mousetrap before adding more cheese. But yes, I promise to get into search. So what gets clicked the most, what gets clicked the least, what never gets clicked, really interesting, really fun types of analysis to do. Similarly, if you have an FAQ page, you have a magical opportunity to make immediate improvements. You're going to find some content gaps. If you just do the same thing, just go to the FAQ page. You might need to find it by filtering for FAQ. Now click to drill down. Now go to the navigation summary for your FAQ page, and it's going to show you the pages that sent the visitor looking for answers. The previous page path for your FAQ page is like a list of pages that have content gaps. This is basically like one of 2 different, I'll call it the report of broken dreams. This is listing out all the places on your site that don't have information that people want. Why would you? They don't want to have to go to the FAQ page and drill down and scan through and dig. No, they want the information on the page they were on. So let's look at those pages closely and see if we've got content gaps on those. Another thing you can do, if you have an FAQ page, this is so fun and so interesting, and so few people in my experience have really done this, adding a heat mapping tool that shows a click heat map for FAQ pages. If you have expandable content areas, right, like accordions, they call them sometimes, and the visitor has to click to expand, then you can add a heat map to that page, and it will show you which of those frequently asked questions is in fact frequently asked. And you may find that some of those questions are virtually never asked. Not weird. These questions get asked a lot. Visitors click to expand them, right? That's a click heat map on an FAQ page with expandable content areas. These ones, not so frequently asked. In fact, no one's ever clicked to expand that. What gave you the idea that it was frequently asked anyway? Maybe we just made that up in that meeting. I remember that day. We sat in the conference room and made up a bunch of FAQs. They weren't actually FAQs. They were just questions we came up with. They're infrequently asked questions in some cases. So I'm showing you now how to find that analysis, how to do that. So my tips for that is to move those top questions onto the page, save them to click, right? 100% of your visitors have their finger on a scroll wheel or a trackpad or a piece of glass, right? Scrolling is easier than aiming and tapping. So, and then maybe reorder your FAQs to put the most popular ones at the top. Some of the ones that don't get asked, remove them. Everything you remove from every web page makes everything left on that page easier to find. Reduce visual noise. Everything you take away makes everything left easier to find. That's a way to, really every website owner maybe doesn't think of it as such, but what are we doing here? We are managing a visual hierarchy. That's what the website is doing, right? It has a visual hierarchy, and it's our job to manage that to help people find the things that are most relevant to them, right? Messaging priority should align with visual hierarchy. Messaging priority should align with visual hierarchy. Another fun tip, What are visitors searching for? If you've got a search tool on your website, you've got a listening tool on your website. You can find out what people want from you. They're actually literally typing. Very rare opportunity for you to listen to your audience, where your audience is literally typing what they want from you. Super fun. To find out what's happening in there, you need to set up analytics first. I've got a video about this. You maybe have already set it up. Maybe the report's already just waiting for you. It's under behavior, of course, behavior site search terms. These are called site search tools. Search terms will show you everything people search for on your website. I'm on a travel site here. As I scroll down, I'm going to find like there's some interesting ones in here. What's that one? Packing list. Now I'm going to add another dimension. The first column is called the primary dimension in analytics. I can add another column to this, a secondary dimension. And when I do, there's a fun combination that's interesting. I can see the exit page from each search. And when I scroll down and find this exit page, packing list, people who search for packing list are leaving the website. They're not clicking on anything. They're exiting from the search results page. Again, the report of broken dreams is listing. It's a list of things that I am for which I am unsatisfying, for which I have a content gap. Actually, you don't even need to add the secondary dimension. If you scan over to the right, you'll find the percent search exits from that. This company actually had one. They just packing list. They just called it what to bring. Easy to fix, right? Optimize your own content to rank in your own search tool on your own website. I'm warming up to SEO. This is a flavor of SEO we should all love, right? It's literally building out your content to rank for your own, for your own current visitors. Also, similar, the navigation summary is quite interesting for these site searches, because if you go to the, I'm looking at the search term report. If I see a bunch of things that they have in common, I can similarly not do the exit page, but the start page. So when you add that as a secondary dimension, it shows you literally the pages from which visitors are leaving the content, going to the tool, searching for something, and then finding it or not. So this is telling you, it's literally like a way to see like content gaps on your website. 3 or 4 clicks, right? You can literally, it's a giant list of content gaps on your website. Do these things first. So, and frequently that happens when you're calling something the wrong thing, or when you're using jargon. That's not what people actually call it. So as an example, kind of a mocked up example, I've got a screenshot here. It's like excavating and earth moving. This is based on a true story, but I didn't want to show it. Excavating and earth moving, what? Wait, I wanted a bulldozer. I can't find bulldozers. Is that a bulldozer? People go to the search tool. Search term report shows it. Bulldozers. People are looking for that. So this is an example of how we need to call it what they call it. That's the heart and soul of SEO. Okay, let's do it. Hardcore. This is like I'm literally going to show you now. Well, here, let's wrap up. The search term report, go search for every phrase you see there. If your page isn't ranking, go optimize your own page to rank in your own search tool by just using, put the word bulldozer on that page, for example, or change what to bring to packing list. If you didn't have a page, you found a content gap, you know that this is data-driven empathy. Your audience wants that, give it to them. And then also, if you have the opportunity, maybe look for chances to put those labels, to update your navigation labels to include those words. If everybody wants that, maybe it should be called out in the menu somewhere. Okay, I'm promising you this. I'm going to deliver it now. My most reliable win. One of the very first things I learned in the name of search back in this 21 years ago, back prior to really Google winning the battle to become the dominant monopoly search engine. And it's if you just think of search as information retrieval technology, sort of a subset of library science, which is exactly what it is. I'm going to think of myself as helping my content get discovered. I want to realign my content to perform better within this information retrieval technology. That's kind of the philosophy behind what we're about to do here. And the technology is not matching words and letters. It is trying to understand the intent of the visitor and then align that and show them a piece of content that satisfies for their information needs. As such, there are reports in Google Search Console that will show you the performance of all of your pages. Now, if you've set up analytics to show Google Search Console reports, they're going to be in here for you, which is a huge convenience. It's really, really nice to have them here. I could do the same thing in Google Search Console. Hopefully you have analytics set up so that it's associating the property, and you can see it right here under acquisition, Search Console landing pages. Okay, I've got a page on my site. It got some traffic. It generated some leads. It's a commercial intent phrase. I'm focusing on that, right? Where I'm optimizing the website prior to doing the content marketing thing. Bank web design. boy, I hope this, this page has been out there forever. I don't really, let's see its performance. So go to landing pages and I filter for bank and I find this page, bank web design. This is totally a true story. I made this slide like just a few days ago. If I click on bank web design from this landing page report, I drill down to see every phrase for which that URL ranks. In case you hadn't checked it lately, you can go look at Google Search Console reports as imported into Google Analytics and then see what every one of your URLs ranks for. There it is. So this one ranks for banking web design. And look at the ranking itself. 11. Ooh, so close. That's called striking distance because it's almost on page 1. A small improvement to that page could nudge it up from page 2 to page 1. Moving that only one position will bring it up from page 2 to page 1. So that's a striking distance key phrase. This is literally the most reliable win. I don't know a way to get better results by burning fewer calories. There isn't that I know of a faster way to get better results for qualified visitors than to find the almost high ranking commercial intent service pages and improve them. Next step, let's go confirm the rankings. There it is, number 12. Ouch, so close. So my next job, I've got the page here. Here's the page, it looks like a fine page. Is this page indicating its relevance? Step 1. Is it indicating its relevance? We're going to optimize this page better. This is literally the state of the page right now. To indicate relevance, we have to do so in just a few fundamental basic ways. You're not doing SEO if you don't do these things first. Is the target key phrase in the title tag? Yep, banking web design. Is the target key phrase in that H1 header? Yep, banking web design. And is it in the body text? So if it's not in those places, it's probably like a purely accidental ranking. You've got a big opportunity just to indicate relevance by putting that phrase in those places. Next step, semantic SEO. Again, we want to target. Now, we're not just targeting that specific key phrase. We're going to target the broader topic. We're going to spread out our meaning. We're going to use all the semantically related words. Andy, how do I find the semantically related words? They're right here in Google. I'm going to start by searching for bank web design. And even before I hit the enter key, it's going to give me a list of words and phrases that are semantically connected to my topic. I just proved it. I'm basically peeking behind the curtain at Google's ontological library, seeing the associations between phrases and words. So my page should probably mention these words if it's the best page on the internet. The best page on the internet for bank web design should cover off on these other related subtopics and answer these related questions, right? Best, template, website, download, list, right? What else can I add to this? There's the questions. I can scrape all of those out of Google all at once using a free tool like keywordtool.io. And it gives me a list of all of them as if I typed the next letter of the alphabet 26 times. Bank web design and development, application, accounts, agency, best practices. Wow, my page should probably mention all these topics, right? It's semantic SEO. I'm not just targeting the specific key phrase. I'm spreading out my meaning across the broader topic. I no longer target key phrases. I target topics. That's a good way to think about it because this is 2022. This technology has been around for a very long time. Google's not matching words and phrases. It's trying to understand the intent of the visitor. A great page on the topic of bank web design should also mention these, clearly they're connected. People also ask, does my page answer any of these questions? Probably it should, or at least I should consider including these in the content. And then finally, going back to all the phrases for which my page ranks, I might find that there's words and phrases here that I didn't include. I should make sure those are all on the page. Okay, while we're here, I want to point out something in the bottom right corner. This page actually ranks for 70 key phrases. That's a pretty low number in my experience. A lot of pages that rank for anything will rank for dozens or hundreds of other key phrases. That proves the point about semantic SEO. We're not really just targeting the specific phrase. We want to spread out and use all those things and make it super detailed page, make it thorough, make it exhaustive, go all in on the topic. So every time you use a tool that tells you the search volume for a key phrase, ooh, maybe I should target bank web design. How many people search for that every month? Oh, Moz says it's 200 to 500. Fine, that's a clue, but it's always a drastic underestimation because the page is not going to rank for just one phrase. And this is the exact match monthly volume, right? As if you put it in quotes. The total number of the actual demand for that topic is probably 100 times that much. Literally, the longer I do SEO, the more I tend to really downplay or mostly sort of ignore monthly search volume metrics. It's your page in the end will blow that number out of the water. Trust me. Another approach to this, I want to show you a tool that will do it for you. There's other tools. All the tools, I think, have a tool like this, but Market Muse is one I've been playing with lately. ClearScope is another one that's very popular. You simply put in the URL if the page already exists, which is optimization. We're already doing this. If the page doesn't yet exist, you copy and paste your draft into here and give it the target key phrase. It will compare the other pages that rank for this phrase. So this is the keyword frequency, how many times each phrase was used, for the other pages that rank in the top 20 for this key phrase. So I can see the other pages that rank in the top 20 for this key phrase use terms like bank website, internet banking, bank web design, financial services. I didn't use those phrases even once, right? My frequency for those key phrases was 0. So this is it's a shortcut to do semantic SEO. It's just a check. It checks I think there's more detailed ways to do it, but the tool is kind of a nice help. It shows you the keyword usage and keyword frequency of every phrase that rank in the top 20, and it compares your keyword frequency to that. Do it by hand. Use a tool. Doesn't matter. The tool is not magical. The whole point is making a great page. And so what we're doing here is really at the same time that we're doing SEO, and if you follow this process, SEO can actually make you a better writer because it's making you go deeper into topics. It's also a chance to just make the page a higher converting page, make it a stronger page, give it better answers, address all, when you're addressing all the objections. For example, template. How could I use the word bank web design template? Well, templates are, don't use an off-the-shelf template, use a custom template because your audience is different. See, I'm addressing an objection while incorporating the semantically related phrases. Here's a list of all kinds of elements that appear on high converting web pages. So the job of these pages is basically to emulate a sales conversation. I'm doing SEO, yes. I'm confirming that I've incorporated the primary key phrase in the title, header, and body text. And then I am building depth and detail, adding all the semantically related phrases, but I'm always doing it with the visitor in mind, with the prospect in mind. This isn't a blog post, this is a sales page. So I wanted to emulate a sales conversation as if the person reading this page feels like they're on the phone with my best rep, right? It's going to go deep. I'm not fluffing it up. I'm going deeper into the topics that I know that my audience is interested in, partly from this research, but also partly just because I'm empathetic to my audience. I know what their objections are. I need to address those. I know what their questions are. I need to answer those. So it's kind of one of those nice overlaps where you're building both high converting and high ranking pages at the same time, right? When done properly, the content you add for the sake of search is going to improve the conversion rate as well, right? It's cheese and mousetrap both. We're trying to build pages that go deep into the topic. I'm not a spammer. I'm trying to help people. I believe in my services. And so I'm going to tell them everything that they need to know about bank web design and what to do, what not to do, how we can help, how we don't help, what we do, answer evidence, call to action. That's the structure of a high performing page. And coincidentally, it aligns very well with search because it's a very detailed page. It's going all into the topic. Okay, George, I'm ready for the part 2. I'll go quickly here. I know we're going fast. You're all getting the recording. You're all getting the slides. You could rewind, play this, set up a meeting with your team and watch it together. Cancel Netflix and stay home and watch this video. Now the content marketing. Some of your articles perform way better than others in terms of traffic. It's inevitably true. Some of your articles perform way better than others in terms of conversion, like getting people to subscribe or just keeping visitors engaged. So if you think of those two as kind of axes on a chart, traffic and conversions, we can make a little matrix that shows in a 2x2 quadrant thing, like which of our pages has high or low traffic and which of our pages has high or low engagement. And then we can make decisions about how to optimize based on that. Makes perfect sense, right? Voila. Hopefully this is a light bulb moment for at least a few of you. Everything that you've ever done is either good or bad cheese and is either a good or bad mousetrap. Sometimes you make something that works in both ways, right? And that's something that we should keep repeating. We call those like a unicorn, right? That is the outperformer in both regards, cheese and mousetrap. I'm really mixing metaphors now. The opposite quadrant from that is something that didn't really do very well at all. We can go ahead and pass on that. Let's just move on and try something else next time because that piece had had low traffic and low engagement. So Larry Kim had this metaphor long ago, and he says, your job in using analytics is to find the unicorns so you can go make baby unicorns. We're going to use the analytics to find baby unicorns so we can go make baby unicorns, or at least know what to do, right? There's other quadrants on this chart that'll give us other ideas. So I'm going to give us we're going to start at the top and do a quick check of content performance because we posted something, we published something, we're promoting something. How did it do? Let's take a look. Here's a piece of content. I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of a couple of the ways in which I would measure performance after publishing anything. I'm a 15-year content marketer, and I have to be efficient in my time. For everything we do here at Orbit, there's only like 1.5 marketers at this little company, right? It's kind of amazing how efficient marketing can be. Like more than 1 million visitors a year, 900 leads a year, 1.5 marketers. That's it. It's half of my job and it's all of Amanda's job. Thank you, Amanda, for everything you do every day. Article, it's about personal SEO. Here's my content template that I use, the draft, the Google Doc that I use to write every article that I write. And you can find this, search for web content template, and you'll find it in the mix. It's from Orbit Media. But this basically pushes me to plan promotion while creating an article. In fact, the very top of this template forces me to consider these key phrases and record monthly search volume. Again, not my most important factor. And also the keyword difficulty. Do I have a chance of ranking for this anyway? And then I'm going to put in the title, the meta description. I plan the URL in advance. And look, semantic SEO. I am capturing all those words and phrases. You can see how I'm doing semantic SEO right on this thing. And as we scroll down, I'm planning social. Who am I collaborating with? And maybe they'll share. Planning email. What's the copy, the teaser copy in the email newsletter? Maybe people will click. So by using this template, it forces me to think about promotion every time. Everything would fail probably if I just post and pray. That never worked, right? So we don't do that. So email performance, obviously it's pretty straightforward. I send the email. It's got a open rates are affected fundamentally by just 3 things: sender name, subject line, and pre-header text. If your open rates are low, work harder on those things. The sender name, if at all possible, make the sender name a human. That's from Mark Schaefer. He's absolutely right. People connect with people better than with brands. But the click-through rate from the email is going to be based on the creative or based on the text, based on the call to action within the email. I'm trying to build a connection, so I've got a face in there. So here's the results from the email. They were above or below trend. I'm also adding, of course, campaign tracking code to this email so that when the visitor lands, I can see the engagement post-click. Your email service provider gives you delivery, open, and click through. But unless you add campaign tracking code, you don't get bounce rate, time on page, and conversion rates. So I need to measure all of the results, the post-click results, and to do that, I have to add that campaign tracking code. Probably you all know all about that by now. Now the search performance, let's take a look. The search performance. So when I go to that article, behavior, site content, all pages, I can add another secondary dimension. I think you've seen me do that twice already. And I can see the medium. I can see how much traffic came from each channel to this article. And I can see the relative effectiveness of different channels. Probably I should actually do this in the landing pages report, but it's almost exactly the same. So 20 to 40 visitors per week from search. Yeah, okay. That's I'm fine with that. That's actually not bad. This is not a super popular key phrase. There's not tons of demand for personal SEO. And I'm ranking in the middle of page 1. I could probably improve that with a couple of updates, a bit better semantic SEO. But now let's look at the other half, the other axis, right? That was traffic, not bad. Engagement, the y-axis or x-axis, whichever. The bounce rate, a bit below trend. No, it's about average. It's actually slightly above trend. It's about average. What about time on page? Time on page is definitely below average. Uh-oh. So now I've got something on my little matrix here that's probably like top left. Above average traffic, below average engagement. Above average traffic, below average engagement. What should I do with that? Add calls to action, add internal links, add video, make it more engaging. How can I make it more engaging? Well, I need to, here's one way to quickly improve the engagement on any post. Video. I'm not just adding video and praying though, post and pray. I'm going to add video and measure the impact of that. Now, without going into the details of setting up event tracking using Google Tag Manager to track video plays from videos embedded from YouTube, ask me later, I'll share that. We've got articles about that. Search for that, how to track video views in analytics. It'll show you step by step. I've got a video, an article up there for that. But I am going to show you how to do segments because this is a really key skill in Google Analytics. And by doing this, we're going to get much better insights and prove whether the effectiveness, that big time spend is worth it to add video to this post. Okay, I click to add a segment. I'm going to create a new segment. What is my segment? It's a condition. This is the only kind of segment I ever make. I don't know how to make the others. Conditional segment. That's kind of the point, right? I'm calling this one video watchers. And it's going to be a segment just to include when the sessions include the video view. That's an event. Its event category is called video view. Then make another segment for people who don't watch the video. Exclude traffic when the event category contains video view. Video view was exactly what I typed into Google Tag Manager when I created the event. So now, I can do that again for you in slow motion another day, but bottom line, I'm tracking separately now in analytics people who do and don't watch videos. Now, when I go look at the page, I can see the total sessions, traffic from that, visitors from that. Let's zoom in. Only 10% of my visitors are actually watching the video, but they are 20% less likely to bounce. Boy, that would bring it above trend, right? That would bring it above trend by a lot. Average watchers spend 3.5 times as much time on page as visitors who don't watch the video. Wow, that's a big impact, right? I'm moving this over to the unicorn quadrant now, right? It's above average traffic and above average engagement, and the conversion rate, big impact in the percentage of visitors who subscribe. So I have proved to myself, my boss or my client, that this spend of time or money on video is worth it, because I'm doing it strategically on the posts that get the most, that where it benefits the most. And I'm doing it in a way that I can actually come back and confirm the results. And video is an SEO thing now, because more than ever, when you search for something, it's very likely you're going to see videos in Google search results. And the video carousel now is like this stacked thing, key moments, like super engaging, like it's going to steal a lot of clicks from those organic rankings around it. Those are called traditional organic. I think we need a name for these blue links now. At Moz, they call them traditional organic. Traditional organic is getting less traffic than ever. Why? Because SERP features, search engine results page features like videos, are so engaging. They're capturing the video. Google knows that videos are engaging. All I'm doing is suggesting what Google already figured out. So by posting a video on that same topic, I have a chance to get 2 bites at the apple, right? I've got a keyword focused article and I've got a keyword focused video posted on YouTube, embedded in the web page. And yes, the article ranks, great, lovely, that's nice. But look, the video ranks. So let's look at the results from that, because that's also perfectly measurable. Traffic to the article, I can see in the adding a secondary dimension of medium to the all pages report, looking at just that page, and I can see the total number of pages, 3 views, 3 years, 12,000 visitors. I'm very happy with that. That's a lot of traffic over time. 86% of that came from search, because it's a search optimized article. What about the video? Totally separate report, right? It's in YouTube analytics. YouTube analytics is a bit frustrating for us because it just categorizes everything as external. A click from the embed on your website is external. A click from watching it on google.com is external. They just lump them together. What? Those are totally separate. So this is getting visibility without traffic. If that visitor is on Google, you're getting visibility, but you're not getting traffic. That's modern SEO, unfortunately. We have to think beyond the rankings and beyond the visitor. We're trying to get traffic and we're trying to get visibility however we possibly can. And sometimes that just means publishing in another format and having something appear in search results, and being present in other directories or writing guest posts, or do whatever you can to get visibility, because click-through rates are on the decline generally. So that in this case, though, to win that, I need a good custom thumbnail. Look at that. See my face, see my hand, see the color, see the title. A good custom, yes, this is SEO, because I'm optimizing for the search. SEO used to mean just optimizing content for search. Now, in my view, SEO means optimizing for the searcher's experience. Much broader, right? Bigger opportunity, right? Lots of opportunity. So I'm going to optimize for the experience of that searcher. I'm going to optimize my video thumbnail because I'm trying to maximize the play rate and be the one who wins in that click. Someone's going to get it. Why not me? So I want it to be simple, because that thing's really dinky. It's like 140 pixels wide. I want to give it a headline, embed that into the video thumbnail. I have a face, because faces are an all-powerful format for images, and they capture attention unlike any other format of content. And then finally, the color, something bright. So you can imagine how something darker, more detailed, or without a face might have a much lower click-through rate. That YouTube video, I think, had 10,000 views. Pretty effective, right? Again, not traffic, but it is visibility. Okay, which of your articles is the most engaging? Site content, all pages. This is basically the same report. You just filter for blog, and then you're just looking at the blog posts. Switch to the comparison view. That's a list of all your posts that are the most engaging. I didn't even make a slide for which of your post gets the most traffic because that's simply the all pages report. It'll jump out at you. So now you're prepared to go onto that 2x2 and be able to see, what your donkeys and unicorns. And then here I want to point out just a really, really useful report for any SEO, kind of an early warning system. This is like your radar for SEO problems. On the landing pages report, when you filter for blog, you're just going to see the articles. Choose maybe a date range of a couple months at least, and then go to the comparison view for the previous period. Next, add a segment to see just organic traffic. That's a built-in segment. You don't need to do the conditional thing. Just choose organic traffic. Click apply. Remove the all users segment because you don't need that. And now you're just looking at organic traffic for these blog posts when they're the landing page. It's an SEO report. This is only visitors who came from search. It's only visitors who, it's only the pages for which they were the first page in the visit. And you're seeing the comparison view before and after, 2 months, 3 months before and after. This shows you which of your pages is starting to decline in traffic, decline in click-through rates. Sometimes it just means that there's more stuff in search results that reduce your click-through rates. Look at these two search results from 2016 and from 2022. Modern wedding dresses now is a way, way more visual search results page. So you might still be ranking high, but reducing the click-through rate, which is a big factor in search and something we'd be remiss to not mention, which is you can maintain high rankings these days, but still see the click-through rate decline. This is a side-by-side report showing the ranking maintaining, but the click-through rate dropping, and therefore the traffic dropping. You've never seen these lined up together. It's kind of interesting because, again, not all ranking is visibility, and not all visibility is ranking. That's a good way to think about search. So when the rankings start to fall, if they are on the decline, you can always write an article somewhere else and reference back to that, build a link, or just rewrite that article, make it better, more detailed, add length, add answers. Just in the same way that we did semantic SEO. Works beautifully. The best SEO trick I know is to keep updating these pages, just like we started with, right? I told you that's my most reliable win. Look at these reports. Big impact. Ranking declines. Update the page, make it a better page. That's what optimization means. We're not done with it. If it doesn't rank yet, maybe it's because you only wrote it once. Go back and rewrite those pages. There's a huge part of my strategy. A lot of my articles every year are new, that look like new articles are actually rewrites and updates of articles from years back. Makes a big difference. And they're not cursory, like quick edit things. It goes, every time I write this piece, it's going to get bigger and more detailed and better and stronger and faster. More formatting, more images, more contributor quotes, more supportive data, more videos, more subheads, more bullet lists, more bolding. Ask yourself, did you make the best page on the internet? If not, you have no right to rank. You should really believe in your content to that extent, that you made one of the best pages on the internet. You were the best answer to that question. Again, there's like 500 million articles that are relevant for that. If you want to be in the top 10, did you make one of the top 10 best pages? You should believe in your content that sincerely. And then in the end, you'll finally realize you don't really need to have 1,000 articles. You need 100 great articles because those unicorns are going to get exponentially greater amounts of traffic. There's no amount of medium quality fluff that's going to beat like a small number of highly focused, really detailed, well-optimized pieces that are the best answer to the question. So that's the heart and soul of optimization, both for the website and for the content marketing. I thought a lot about this before putting this together. I wanted to pack it with the things that I thought would be the most useful to all of you. I sincerely hope this was helpful. George, I think we're ready to go into questions. I'll stop the share. And that's what I got for you. What do you think?
Wow, that's what I think. Andy, thank you for that wonderful value pack present. Dude, you just clipping along. Attendees, we have a ton of questions that we're going to get started with, but if you have other questions, put them in here. We'll try to figure out a way that we can maybe answer them and get them to you in the future. So let's go ahead and just start with this. Andy, one of the questions was, can you repeat the route that you took in Google Analytics for content gaps and the magical analytics view? And that was a little while ago, obviously towards the beginning. How in the world did you get where you went and how can they get there?
If you look at the site, if you have a search tool on your website that is visually prominent that people tend to use, then just go to behavior, site search, search terms, and you'll see everything people search for. Scroll over to the right and percent search exits. When that's high, visitors search for that thing, but left before clicking on anything. That's one of the gaps. Another one is the FAQ page, previous page path, the previous page from the FAQ. So go to behavior, site content, all pages, scroll through or search and find your FAQ page, click on it, then click on navigation summary at the top. It's a tab, and it's going to show you what pages sent visitors to the FAQ page. Those are pages with the content gaps. Those are the two reports that I described as the reports of broken dreams.
I love that. When you rewrite, do you update the date of the post or do you leave it the original post date?
This is my most hated answer, and people really get mad at me on social media for this, but I recommend for those of you that have a content strategy to post evergreen content that you remove the date from the template of your blog. You can still put the date in the header, you can in the headline, in the body text, but if you're writing evergreen posts, showing the date only makes your content look older faster. I know that your visitors like it. I'm giving you advice as a marketer. I'm not being an advocate for visitors, which is strange for me, I know. But if your template does have the date built in and it's going to force you to show a date every time, then you would update the date. The thing you don't want to change is the URL, because the ranking potential is partly a function of are there links to that page. If there are, changing the URL kind of ruins the SEO benefit of that page. You're leveraging the existing URL's page authority by updating the relevance without losing that authority. So never change a URL if you can ever help it. With that in mind, when you make new URLs, don't put numbers in them, because if it's 7 tips for URL best practices and you add 3 more tips when you rewrite it in 2 years, now there's a mismatch between the URL and the header. So never, going forward, don't put numbers into your URLs.
That was a ninja tip right there. I like this one. I'm going to actually fly over here because I was documenting some, but James just asked, does design or color play into SEO at all, or is it simply the color? Talk about that, Andy.
Oh yeah, the copy. He's wondering if it's the copy. So the Googlebot is going to scan through and look at the page and understand its relevance by analyzing the copy. So we have to indicate relevance, title, header, body text, and then semantic SEO. Title, header, and body text are the primary key phrase, semantic SEO to spread out your meaning across the broader topic. But in that tip, I think there are contexts where colors can make a difference. Like a bright background color on a YouTube video thumbnail, if it shows up in search results, is going to have a higher click-through rate. Is that SEO? I'm going to say yes, that's SEO. That's SEO. So there are 90% of the time when you're talking about search, no one cares at all about color, but there are exceptions where color actually has an impact on traffic or at least on visibility.
Nice. Andy, do you know, is previous page path data available in GA4?
It is, but it's not as easy to get to. Like everything in GA4, it's going to be harder to get to. I think it's like I could look it up. There's like this, it's an exploration where you set this kind of content. I think it's called content drill down or something. I haven't made one in a while, but you can get to it. You got to build it like everything else in GA4. And which is not fun, but possible.
Yeah. And I know one of the questions was, what tool was that? I think everybody was asking about Market Muse, but I'm going to go ahead and add on to that. There's also a question that goes around with tools. Do you recommend Moz over Ahrefs, et cetera, or do you have any tools you recommend the most?
Well, I have friends at all of these companies, and I try not to pick favorites. I think SEMrush is a fast way to check the rankings of any website. Ahrefs is probably the best database of links and authority. Moz is just a really user-friendly tool and just a go-to for anyone who needs to track their rankings or check their authority. Moz sort of won, it feels like Moz sort of won, like we all talk about domain authority, which is actually the Moz metric. So you can mostly do anything in any tool. I know SEMrush has a paid in there. It also has a bunch of content tools. Ahrefs feels like a power tool for more senior SEOs. It's like a spreadsheet all the time. Like you're looking at a lot of detailed stuff. But I'm a lifelong Moz user, but actually I have accounts for all of them and I use them in different ways. I think you really can't go wrong with any of those three.
That was a great diplomatic answer. I love that.
I'm trying.
You're doing good at it. So should we move to, I love this because when you brought up video, by the way, just to get your head in that direction, should we move to only posting video with blogs with transcript copy as opposed to traditional blog articles with no video?
Well, I've never really seen a transcript that looked that kind of conform to digital content best practices. Transcripts are very hard in my experience to adapt into something that works well as a post because they're just dense. The answers are long. If we transcribe this conversation, George, it wouldn't be accessible easily. I mean, it'd be like blocky and long. So I've never played too much with video transcripts. What I'm mostly doing is writing the best article I possibly can, making the best video I possibly can. They're both concise, they're both direct, they're both to the point, they're both highly structured, and then putting those two things together. So if the transcript is useful in that way, I know there's a lot of people who like podcasters have transcripts and maybe they can adapt that somehow, but I spent hours trying to edit one transcript and realized like I could have just started from scratch and made a really nice article. Hard to work with.
Good tips. And yes, folks, we are going a little bit over because we're trying to get as many of these questions in. Andy, how often do you monitor search results? Weekly, monthly?
Once a month, I look through and see, is my ranking changing dramatically for any of the valuable phrases that are important to me? And I put those on a list of things to pay attention to rewrite, to build links to reference back to keep in social rotation, just to promote. So I do that. I'm actually going through and checking ranking fluctuations monthly. That's enough for us. We're busy. I don't need millions of visitors to meet our business goals, which is another important point. What are we doing here? Define your goals up front. Now you're a strategist. If you're just blogging or trying to like maximize traffic at any cost, that's more probably vanity.
Wait, set goals, have a strategy, be a marketer. What?
I'm not positive. I'm not an MBA, but I believe that the word strategy means plan to reach goal.
Yeah.
If I'm right about that, then we should have a goal. Yeah.
I love it. I have a blog team that I work with. Should I share this web content template with them for blogs, or is this more of an informational info about your offerings?
Oh, no, that we don't even do content marketing for clients. It's not an informational. Oh, you mean her offering or his offerings?
Yeah, theirs.
I think the web content template is most useful for content marketing articles, more so than for service pages. Service pages are more highly structured. It's a little bit hard to use that. I mean, you should be building like almost tables to create a visual hierarchy and guide the eye. Building service pages is like a Jedi mind trick where you're guiding them through this series of messages and images. Blog posts, it's a little more straight down through the page. So I use that page for content marketing. I wouldn't bust it out for like a new banking web design page.
So Andy, I'll give you a choice for our last question before I close this out. Would you rather talk about backlinks or keyword stuffing?
Boy, I get probably backlinks is more useful to more people. Keyword stuffing, we should all know that answer already.
Yep. How many backlinks would you recommend to go to your article/videos on secondary sites in order to help rank?
Great. It's actually a really interesting question because every key phrase is a different competition. Every page is a different competitor. So if you look at that competition, you say, I need a page authority of 35 to rank for this thing, or I won't have a chance. That tells you how much authority you need, how many links you need. If you look at the competition and say, oh, these other pages are ranking, they only have, an average authority of 20. This is a low bar. A brand new just born page on an authoritative website might rank almost immediately. So you have to analyze the battlefield, look at the competition, understand the context and how competitive are those other pages, because there is no such thing as a high or low authority. It's only high or low relative to the other pages that rank. Is 35 miles an hour fast? It's super slow in a car race. It's super fast in the Tour de France, right? So it's all contextual. Having said that, it's not a number of backlinks, it's an amount of authority. High authoritative links from super high authoritative websites will pass exponentially greater amounts of link equity than a bunch of links from low authority websites. That's how Google defeated the web spam. So there's not a number of links, there's an amount of authority, and the amount of authority depends completely on the context on that key phrase. Every key phrase is a different competition.